So, recently we have seen the stock market continue to go up and up, continue to climb higher and higher with no real signs of coming down. As at filming this video, the NASDAQ is nearly back to all-time highs in this current economy. It was up at 9.8k in February, bottomed out at about 6.8. That's just a massive drop in such a short period of time. And now we can currently see, as of filming this video today, it's sitting at 9.6k. A few more green days and we may even see it back at all-time highs, which is crazy. And by the time I release this video, it may even be back there, to be honest. Very similar situation with the S&P 500 index. Was up at 3.3k, big drop down to 2.2k there very quickly, and now has recovered to 3k within a few months. Yeah, recently, as you can see, we've definitely seen a strong uptrend and the stock market just continue to climb no matter what. And recently I did do a video theorizing on why I think the stock market does continue to go up and up. If you want to watch that video, click the card here or here and it'll take you to it. But yeah, recently we've just seen it continue to rise. And look, if it does continue to rise and rise further and we actually go above the previous all-time highs and we just keep climbing from there, many people seem to think that we may be entering what's called a stock market bubble, and this is something that is very possible. Now in this video here today, I'm going to break down exactly what a stock bubble or a stock market bubble is. It can happen with any kind of asset really. And I'm also going to give my opinion on the current situation and whether I really do think that we are in a stock market bubble or we're going to enter a stock market bubble potentially. So before we get into the video guys, all I ask from you, like always, is to hit the like button if you did enjoy the video. And if you want to subscribe to keep updated with all the content that I pump out, feel free to. I'm nearly at 200 subs, so if you can hit that, that would be great. But let's get into it. So basically, a stock market bubble is when the prices of stocks continue to go up and up so much that in the end, it doesn't even make sense. The stock price increases so much, or the group of stocks, their prices increase so much that the valuations on the companies don't even make sense anymore. Can happen with any type of asset. So real estate, real estate prices just keep going up and up for no apparent reason, and then they all just comes crashing down because the bubble pops. There's just so much money being poured into the stock market right now for no real logical reason. Doesn't really add up. And on average, the current valuations for stocks in the stock market right now is really way too high for everything that's going on. And these valuations just don't make sense at this point in time. The stock market is way overvalued than what it should be in my opinion, but yet we still see people continue to buy the stocks in the stock market and continue to buy indexes because they keep going up every day, and I don't know why. Who's buying these? Are you buying them? Because I'm not buying them. Seems to be built purely on hype, but I don't even know where the hype is for the stock market. It's not like the world news is saying, yeah, the economy is doing great, invest your money. So I don't know what exactly is going on here. But yeah, with a stock market bubble, right, or an asset bubble, we've seen this happen before in the past. I'm going to give you guys two examples here today. First one being the Bitcoin bubble, which you'd probably know if you've been in the investing circle or you've seen the news that this happened around about 2-3 years ago now. Bitcoin throughout 2017, we see the hype around Bitcoin going crazy. We see it all in the news everywhere very frequently. And everyone and their dog pretty much wants to get into Bitcoin and wants to start investing in Bitcoin, in the Bitcoin market, and all your cryptocurrencies and everything like that. So they start buying Bitcoin purely on hype and excitement. So yeah, throughout 2017 there, we can see that Bitcoin had a massive climb, continued to climb and climb and climb. At the start of 2017, it was just under 1,000, and by the end, we've seen it was all the way up at 19,000. So yeah, it created this kind of bubble, right? The price kept going up and up, built on hype for no real reason. But what happens with a bubble, right? It eventually pops and everything comes down. Yeah, eventually as people started to realize that, hold on, Bitcoin isn't as useful as we thought. Hold on, I don't really even know what Bitcoins are. People were investing in cryptocurrencies and they didn't even really know what they were. Then we've seen a massive sell-off and a massive crash in the price of Bitcoin. And by the start of 2019, we've seen it was all the way down at like 3.5k. The bubble finally popped from where it was up at the start and it all came crashing down. So yeah, that's definitely the most recent example that I can give you of a asset bubble where the price increased and it just popped and it comes down massively. But what about an actual example in relation to stocks and the stock market? Well, I do have an example for you. We need to go back to around about 2000. If you know a bit about investing, you probably know about this famous bubble. It was the tech bubble or the internet bubble or the dot-com bubble. So we basically had all these dot-com companies go public and enter the public share trading market. All these internet companies go public. As you can imagine, the late 1990s and the year 2000 was definitely a very new era for the internet. The internet was just coming into play. And there are a whole bunch of startup companies looking to utilize the internet to build a business, and everyone thought that all of these companies were going to be massively successful and grow into humongous businesses. And look, we had some of these companies with business plans, right? But they didn't actually even have anything into place yet. They were purely just ideas, and they weren't even generating revenue yet, but people still continued to invest in those. And some of these companies had massive market caps and they weren't even generating any revenue at all yet. But of course, investors that still ate these up, they thought, yeah, this little internet company is going to be the next big, massive thing. So money was just poured into these stocks. And then eventually investors started to realize, hold on, XYZ company isn't really going to be as big as what I thought it was with the potential of the internet. And they're not really making as big profits as what I thought. Or hold on, they're taking massive losses right now. And when that happened and when the realization kicked in, we just seen a massive sell-off of stocks. Obviously, we've seen a few companies get through there and actually become successful and actually turn into massive businesses like Yahoo and stuff like that. But like 1 out of every 100 of these businesses were successful startup internet companies, and the rest pretty much failed, and investors got burnt massively on this. And we'll have a look at what happened to the stock market then. So if we go all the way back to around about 2000, the late 1990s, before I was even born, see, it was up at around 1.5k, and then when the bubble burst, it absolutely dropped massively. It wasn't exactly the fastest drop as well. You can see there it took a total of 2 years to get from this top all the way down to the bottom of the crash. And we can see it bottomed out at around about $850. And then it took a further 5 years to get back to where we were at the start of 2000. So that's in 7 years total. We were at 1.5k, and then we were below that for 7 years. And then only just after around about 7 years were we back at 1.5k. So it's just ridiculous, and a bubble is really the last thing that you want here in the stock market. And if the stock market is in a bubble right now, or it's approaching bubble territory, this is obviously the thing that I'm very worried about, right? If we are in a bubble and it does eventually pop and comes crashing down, how long are we going to free fall for? We could see the stock market dropping what? Another 30%, another 40, 50, 60%. And how long is that going to take before we hit the bottom? So it could be, a gradual, slow come down over multiple years like we've seen in 2000. I hope not, but this is something that could really happen if we are entering stock market bubble territory. Not only that as well, but once we eventually hit the bottom, how long is it going to take us to climb back up to where we were? This is something that's really worrying me, and that could honestly take a very long time, like I said, and like we've seen there with the tech bubble, the dot-com bubble. It took a total of 7 years to get back to where we were. That's what really scares me. And what makes me think that we are in a bubble right now is because, like I said, the stock market continues to roar higher and higher when we know that the world isn't exactly doing well right now, and world economies aren't exactly in the best form. It's starting to fit the very definition of a bubble, because we see these companies' valuations increase and these stock prices increase, right? But I can assure you now, right now, there is way less demand for goods and services from companies than what there was, at the start of the year. It's just crazy, and it's very scary. But people continue to deploy money into the stock market, we've seen. People continue to buy stocks for no reason. And like I said, I'm not really buying any stocks right now. Are you buying any? Because I'm definitely not. Who is buying the stock market? I'd really love to know. We've seen some big investor figures coming out, hedge fund managers saying they're not buying stocks right now. Well, we've seen Warren Buffett himself. He hasn't been buying any stocks for this whole year. If anything, he sold all his airline companies at a massive loss. He's not buying anything right now. So who is buying the stock market right now? I'd really like to know. And that's exactly why I'm worried, because if we are in a bubble or we are entering bubble territory, we are going to see so many of these new investors just deploying money into the stock market, not really knowing what they're doing. We're going to see so many of those guys get burnt when everything does come crashing down. Everything will sell off. Those new guys will take a lot of losses. Us guys like you or me that are in it for the long term, then yeah, look, we're probably still going to hold our shares unless we see some massive change in the business model or something massively different for the future of the business. We're just going to be able to get stocks for a lot cheaper price. And all these traders and everything like that, they will get burnt massively if we are in a stock market bubble or we do enter a stock market bubble and it eventually pops. And it may take us years and years to recover is the thing that's very worrying. So basically, my opinion, I think there are a lot of signs here right now to show that we are in a stock market bubble, definitely, if you do the research. And if we are, or if it does end up to the point where we are in a bubble and it does pop, all I'm saying is it's going to get very, very ugly. But thanks for watching, guys. That's pretty much all I have here for today. Like I said, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video and you stuck to the end here. If you do like the content, hit the subscribe circle here. As like I said, I'm nearly at 200, so I want to get there. And check out this video or this playlist if you've got time or it interests you. And yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. You have a good one.